Hey YouTube. Alright, so we're back again, and I just want to show you. I had said in my last video that I needed to cut this up into 18-inch pieces. It's a shame to have to cut that up. You got to get the wood from somewhere, and there's plenty of pine trees, so I'm not going to worry about it. And this is an eastern white pine. But anyway, I figured, why cut a whole bunch of 18-inch pieces in case this doesn't work out right? You know, I'll be here with a bunch of blocks that I can't use for nothing. So I had to do a little adjusting here. I'm going to take the camera off the stand. I have it on the stand at the moment, and I'll just show you. So there's my tool. Let me back up. There's the tool that I made to hold the block of wood. There's a little adjustment or a tightening thing there, and there's two on this side. And what happens is when the saw is running, it torques that direction, so it mainly wants to pull the wood, you know, that way. And originally when I made this, it seemed to be able to just sit on the carriage, but I was only cutting an 8-inch high board. Now this board here was 12 inches high. That extra 4 inches of height gives it a little more strength, you know, just like a lever, to pull it off the carriage. So what I did was I drilled 2 holes through the frame of this on this side, and you can't see it, but on the other side. Let me just go around here. You can see the bolt head right there, and I put 2 long bolts in there just to hold the carriage down. So now the carriage is down, and that works good. Now the principle of this thing is to just teeter-totter it back and forth and make cuts with it. Now I've made these different cuts on these shingles. Now I like this shingle pretty much the best as far as thickness goes. This one's a little thick, but I'm still going to use it. Same thing with these. And my problem at the moment is not that this doesn't work, because it does work. My problem is I haven't figured out a pattern for myself yet to follow. You know what I'm saying? Like whether I should go down an inch and then back up and then down. I gotta develop a pattern. So once I develop a pattern, I should be in good shape. This one here, you're looking at 3/4 of an inch here, and back there it's like a 1/16 or so, which actually seems to be pretty nice. Now I'm not sure whether these shingles should be thick or thin. I know that this 3/4 of an inch is about the thickness of shingles I've used before to put on roofs. This isn't the first time I've shingled a roof. The thing is it's the first time I've actually had to make the shingles. So I kind of like this one, and if I can make more like that, that's how I want to go. But like I say, I need to get into some sort of a pattern here with this thing to be able to know how to use the tool I invented, or at least made, maybe not invent, so that I know how to use it. So I'm just going to leave the video run. You're going to have to excuse the noise because I don't know how to take the noise off the camera at this point. So I'm going to start the saw up. I just came back from eating, and I have to adjust this. Now, right now, I actually forgot which way this is adjusted. You got to remember which way you're tilting this. That's one of the most important things. If you don't remember the way it's tilted, that can screw up your cuts. So I loosen these 3 set screws here that hold it. Okay, and you can see it was down on that end. So now I'm down on this end. So I'm going to readjust these little set screws. And they're just bolts going through the frame and into the side of the wood. There's 2 on this side, 1 on this side. The reason I put 2 over here is, again, it torques that way. So I figured two spots being held is better than 1 on the side that's being torqued. So anyway, you snug that up and snug this up, and you got to keep in mind that it's tilted down on that end. That means that this is going to be the thick end. Okay, so when I start the saw up and I go to enter the cut, if I enter the cut at about a 1/16 of an inch of wood showing, I should come out of here with about 3/4. So just mind the noise and just watch. Now you can see how thin that is on that end, and it's about 3/4 or so on this side. So that makes a good shingle. I like that, and I'm going to hang on to that. The nice thing about this is you can see it's the quarter sawn cut there. Now naturally I'm not going to always have that. The center of the tree is right there, and that's why I've got a couple quarter sawn. Quarter sawn shakes is what you really want, which I'm not trying to do that. I'm cutting what I have. That's all I have. That's what I'm going to work with, and I'm going to use whatever shingles I cut. But I like that, and I think it's going to be good. Now as far as treating them and stuff, I'm going to have to read a little bit about that. I think the shingles ought to be treated with some kind of waterproofing something or other, just to keep them from drying out too fast so they don't crack. Alright, so anyway, it was tilted down one direction. So now I'm going to tilt it the other way. And I know this seems slow to you guys, but I'm retired. So I have all the time in the world to play with this stuff. And I'm thoroughly enjoying it. I wouldn't change this manual mill to a hydraulic mill if my life depended on it. And it has nothing to do with being able to afford it. All it is I actually like to work. Alright, so now we have the thick end over there. So we have to remember that. So basically, here's what I'm thinking as I go. I'll just talk to you without the saw running. I'm going down and I'm going to kiss off the end there, okay? So I know that the blade is hitting that. And I'm looking to see if the blade is twisting either way or anything. So once I know I'm there, now I'm at the thick end, so I can go down 3/4. So let's see, 3/4 would put me about there. Yeah. So if I go down 3/4 there, I should end up with somewhere around 1/8 of an inch, or maybe a little more at this end. So that's what we're going to cut. Now you can see that I don't have a full 18-inch shingle, but I also don't have 3/4 here. It's only 5/8. So that threw me off as far as making it to the end of the shingle. I'm still going to use this. Ouch, my finger. I'm still going to use this. It's about 2 inches short. That's not going to hurt anything. But, and again, it's only like I've only cut about 10 shingles so far. So we got to get in the habit of doing that. So again, I got to adjust this. I'm tilting it the other way. Tightening the set screws back up. And I'm sure there could be a faster way of doing this. I'm just doing it this way because this is the way I made it to start off with. Okay. So now I want to start with about 1/8 of an inch of wood. Better cut. Now this has a little bit of thickness to it here because that's what didn't come off on the previous cut, but I'm still using that. I'm pretty sure that some kind of a lever clamping lock could be made to hold this thing a lot quicker rather than using these bolts. And maybe I'll look into that after I get the idea of making it. Now that one here came out pretty nice. So I'm getting more used to the dimension I need to enter the wood at. Like I say, you got to remember what you did here. So that end is down now. So this end is down. That means that that's the thin end. So I got to come in there about an eighth of an inch thick. Another good one. So we're getting there. This end's down now, that's the thin end, so you got to go with the thick end. I'm not just telling you that, I'm saying it to remind myself. See, I adjusted the cut because I would have came out of here too soon. But still, I can still use that. Good. Only about 150 more. good now. By the way, I wanted to tell you, before I started cutting that great big can, I had just sharpened this blade with a file. So, just so you know. Okay guys, so let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So I got 16 pieces, 16 shakes or shingles out of one of those little cans. So that's not bad. That's actually more than I figured. I was thinking I'd only get 12 of them. Ouch. Let me see what I got left here. You can see I got a pretty good chunk of wood there. But the way my thing is made, I can't get any lower on it. So I guess I'll be putting this in the kindling bin. So I'm going to throw it over there, and then I'll split it with a hatchet later. So guys, there you go. Just to remind or to show you how I did this in case you didn't see my other video. All this is some angle iron made in a rectangle to fit the beams of the bunk. Okay, and there's a 3/8 inch rod welded right in the center of this opening. From here to here is 18 inches, very close to 18 inches. These little shims here are adjustments. I can raise them or lower them by putting washers underneath there to hold them to get the cut. And right now, after hee-hawing around a little bit, even though this is 3/8, I got two washers underneath there in the head of the bolt, so it's tilting. You can see that when I use the wood, but it's right now it's tilting at the exact thing that I need it to do. So it's against the stops here. It's bolted to the frame, and tell you what, I'm happy with what I got there. 16 shakes. 8 inches, what's that, 8 times 16, 48, 4, 6, 10, 104 inches. I ought to be able to go across the whole roof up there with what I've done so far. Just one layer. So, I'm not going to waste anything. If it's cut thick or thin, I don't care, it's going up there. I do got to put some boards across, some wider ones to start, and then one every so many inches. I got to figure out what that is. I haven't figured it out yet, and then I'll be able to start putting them up. All right, guys. So that's all the videos I'm going to be making for today. I think I'll be putting 3 videos up today, and like I say, I got to cut these. What I do to cut these cants here is all I do is take a framing square, measure 18 inches, put the 18 inches across and down both sides, and then use the chainsaw, because you really do need it to be 18 inches to fit in there. If you're off 1/8 or so, it's not going to hurt, but no more than that. And then that fits in the jig good. So that's basically it. So I'll be cutting this thing up and making, you know, even when I look at it, I almost hate to cut this up. What do I got here in width? I'm pretty sure they're 12 inches. Yeah. 12 by 8. A lot of 1x can come out of this. And like I say, I don't know if you saw the other video, these are 2x12, so I can actually get other things out of it. I can cut 2x4s out of them or whatever I want, but at the moment I don't need anything. I'm also thinking about making beveled siding to put on this. That would be something different. I'd have to make some other kind of a little jig, I guess, to sit on the bunk. And I don't think that's a big deal either. So, alright guys, well thanks for watching, and I know some of you asked about the shake video. Now you have it. Bye.